My name is TJ Giuli, and I'm the research lab leader for the Ford Silicon Valley lab. What we really want to be able to do is give people the same kind of accessibility that they used to have, let's say, for tinkering with their car, maybe when it was 1960s, 1950s. Now, with modern cars, it's very difficult to understand anything at all that's really going on in the car, kind of like under the hood, so to speak. So with OpenXC, we are trying to kind of like bring that same kind of spirit of tinkering back to the general public. And so we do this in two ways. One, on the software side, by giving open access to read-only data from the car. This is real-time data. You know, it's basically a huge data stream that's kind of just constantly generated by the car. We give you access to that. And then on the hardware side, we're interested in seeing how you can essentially use open source hardware techniques to increase the modularity of the car, such that you can basically personalize your car in again, interesting ways reminiscent of when cars were much more accessible. OpenXC really kind of focuses on the data. And so without getting into too much detail, the data that you have access to by using the OBD2 protocol is a fair amount, but OpenXC is actually a superset of that data, or it can provide a superset of that data. I would say philosophically it's quite different than pretty much everything out there. It's important to realize that OpenXC is a research platform. So to begin with, OpenXC really kind of enables individuals and not like commercial entities to experiment in new ways with data from their car. I think that, again, as a research product, what we hope to do is influence the direction of Ford and not necessarily deploy exactly what OpenXC is right now to a product in some point in the future. But I do think that OpenXC has already demonstrated the desire for people to have data come out of their car and to be able to use that data in new and interesting ways. So the internal example, there's actually a YouTube video about this, but there's a guy who was a new engineer. He joined Ford into our group, actually back in Dearborn, and he designed essentially what he called like a haptic shift knob. And so his idea was that it's really difficult to learn how to drive a manual transmission car. You know, everybody kind of like goes through this, right? So what if your shift knob would actually tell you when to shift? And so it could be for people that are learning how to drive their car manual for the first time, or it could also be, you know, let's say that you're going to the track and you're really getting into the performance aspects of your car. So it can help you figure out those shift points there as well. So basically, you just like screw off, you know, kind of like your stock shift knob. You screw this thing on. He actually took the little actuator out of an Xbox 360 controller, kind of like the little rumbly thing. Put that in there, and so whenever you're shifting, or whenever you should shift, the knob will kind of vibrate a little bit, telling you to do your shift. Cool example, simple example, he was able to release kind of like the 3D CAD files for the physical kind of like enclosure of the device. He released the PCB circuit design, and so you can build this up, and it's, again, there's a YouTube clip on it. It's pretty cool.
So obviously, having kind of like an open platform like this requires, you know, a very healthy dialogue with the community, with the people who are going to produce most of the content. How has Ford kind of gone about developing that community?
We're in Tech Shop in San Jose. We're doing things, a combination of things, from kind of you know, outreach like this, where we would actually bring a car down, host a workshop, host a hackathon, really get kind of like physically involved in the community. You know, we have a good online presence. So we've actually been pretty good, I think, with, you know, kind of like publicizing what we're doing with the platform. But we definitely do want to grow the platform and grow the community. So we keep doing this.